brought stability to the quarterback position in Buffalo, took over in Week 5, and you can see he's getting more comfortable. He brings experience, toughness, and leadership to this offense. But the strength of the team right now has been the play of their 5th-ranked defense. They're giving up just 18 points a game. Nobody's been better at getting off the field on 3rd down or getting to the quarterback. They lead the league with 48 sacks. To win today, they're going to have to get to Peyton Manning.
I'd like to remind you, today's game is broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. The Broncos won the toss. They have deferred, so the Bills will receive. Another sellout. There's a look at Marcus Thigpen, who was waived a couple weeks ago and picked up off the waiver wire, signed off the street by this Buffalo team. The kickoff by McManus is out of the end zone, meaning a touchback. And let's quickly go to the 3rd member of our crew, Stacey Dales.
Well, Kevin, a lot of people think this game is an extremely tall task for these incoming Buffalo Bills, but not the Buffalo Bills. Doug Marrone told us this is not a David and Goliath football game. We aren't going to change what we do on the road, but we are going to be extremely aggressive, Kev.
All right, thank you so much. So there's a look at Doug Marrone, who's got this team 7-5, coming off a win last week over the Cleveland Browns. They've got it 1st and 10 from their 20. Fred Jackson. He's stuck and brought down on the play, and with the initial hit, Steven Johnson. It's a gain of 2, and he's up to the 22 with a look at Kyle Orton, replaced E.J. Manuel for October. He went 3-1, 9 TDs, 3 picks. November, the numbers evened out, Rich, and now he enters December.
Yeah, he's done a terrific job, especially when you consider he wasn't even in the picture in the offseason, wasn't a part of the OTAs, no mini camps, no preseason. He's picked up things quickly. He's brought leadership to this position.
On the 22, it's 2nd down and 8, and they go outside to Hogan. With a beat on him and a stop is David Bruton Jr. The gain is out to the 29, and he picks up 6 on the play. On the offensive line, rookie right tackle Shantrell Henderson has played well, in the words of his coach Doug Marrone. They like what he's doing over there. And receiver Robert Woods has been playing well. Rookie wide receiver Sammy Watkins has slowed down a bit since his great start. Them getting off the line today, Rich, is an important factor for this offense.
They have struggled a little bit against press man-to-man coverage, and Kevin, they're going to see a ton of it today against this Denver secondary.
It's 3rd and 1 for Orton. Outside it goes to his tight end, Scott Chandler, who's got the 1st down. He's brought down on the play by Talib. He picks up 4. They'll place him at about the 32-yard line. Now for the number 3 defense on the line, DeMarcus Ware has been, as advertised, coming over as a free agent from Dallas. He, coupled with Von Miller, make that edge so dangerous for opposing quarterbacks. Combined 21 sacks, Ware and Miller. Talib returns, as we mentioned, and Chris Harris Jr. is ranked the number 1 cover man by Pro Football Focus. It's a 1st and 10 on the first drive of the game. With 3 tight ends. False start.
Offense. 48. 5-yard penalty. It's still 1st down.
That's going to be called on one of the newest Buffalo Bills, Marquise Gray, who had a terrific game against the Cleveland Browns in his Bills debut. That puts him back 5, Rich, now to their own 28 with the 1st and 15.
A former receiver and college quarterback, University of Minnesota. He gives him some versatility, Kevin. He can play tight end, he can play in the slot, he can also play fullback.
It's 1st and 15. Trying to run it up the middle. There's not a lot of room. Brandon Marshall, who's the leading tackler for this Denver defense, only allowing a gain of 1 on the play as they try to take it up the middle with Dixon.
Well, they've been pretty good on their opening drives. 4 of their last 5 games, they've come away with points. Last week, not one of them. Ugly start last week against Cleveland. Their first 7 possessions, 4 punts, 2 interceptions, and a missed field goal. They need to get off to a good start here on the road.
Anthony Booby Dixon in the backfield, 5 in the secondary for the Denver Broncos. It's 2nd down and 13. Orton slant, caught by Watkins, fumbled the ball, and it's loose, and Denver has reeled it in on a fumble by Watkins, and picked up by Raheem Moore at the 46. Watkins coughs it up.
Well, simple slant route. I mean, he catches it. He has possession, never feels the corner coming on his backside. Sammy Watkins has struggled here the last 3 weeks. You got to do a good job putting the ball away. Can't allow Roby to come in there and rip it out.
Some talk, Rich, that maybe he was even hitting the rookie wall.
Well, you know, you're not used to playing these meaningful games in December. That's just a mistake that the rookie cannot make. Got to take good care of the football after the catch.
Here's Peyton Manning with a 1st and 10. C.J. Anderson going up the middle there and hit by a couple initially. It was by Kyle Williams. It is a gain of 1 and finished off by Bradham. There's the 5-time MVP of the NFL, Peyton Manning.
Well, that's just so much fun to call a Peyton Manning game, Kevin. It's the guy is still at the top of his profession. You look at the way he plays. That doesn't necessarily have to beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his mind now that he's 38.
2nd down and 9.
Block 80! Block 80! Hot!
Anderson again. With a flag thrown on the play. Gets just inside the 45-yard line. Hit by a couple in there, including Brown.
Holding. Offense. Number 64. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
And here's a look now at the offensive line. They've used 4 different combinations, 3 changes at the right tackle, but Vasquez has been terrific. And as we mentioned before, the tight end Julius Thomas comes back today. They will need him. He had an injured ankle, and he was out. 2nd down and 19 now with that penalty back to the 44-yard line of Denver. Looking into the nickel, here comes Manning. Blocked by Clady at the left tackle, and across the middle, Demaryius Thomas chased and brought down by Corey Graham. Picks up 6 on the play, and they get to midfield. Now the defense for Buffalo, down at defensive line, Darius leading all NFL defensive tackles and sacks. Linebackers have been real good. Bradham has been terrific, taking the place of Alonzo. The rookie Preston Brown has been wonderful in that linebacking core. The secondary, Leotis McKelvin is gone. Graham takes his place. Safeties have performed well. Searcy with 2 interceptions last week. He's also dropped 2 last week. 3rd down and 14. Oh, and he's got him. He's a little bit long for Thomas. Demaryius Thomas running on the side with the coverage by Stephon Gilmore.
Well, this is where Buffalo has been terrific. 3rd down efficiency, the best in football. They're trying to fit this one into 2 deep coverage. Gilmore knows he has help over the top from the safety, Searcy.
We're going to get the punt now coming from Denver's Britton Colquitt. Big Ben back again at about the 10-yard line. And nope, they cannot save it. Chasing it in there off his shin. Omar Bolden, 50-yard punt. Each team has had it, and each team has turned it to the other team. A punt right there by Denver. Fumble for Buffalo. Doesn't come back to bite them. Bills had it 5 plays. Fumble the first time. Denver just punted. 2nd possession for Buffalo from their 20-yard line with a 1st and 10. A little run right there. It's up to the 26-yard line. It was Fred Jackson. He picks up 6 on the play. And things you'll be watching for today.
Well, let's start with Buffalo, Kevin. It's important to avoid the negative plays, the negative runs, the penalties, the sacks. They got a turnover already on the first possession from Watkins. Affect the timing of Peyton Manning. You can't allow him to get comfortable back there. And for Denver, they need to maintain some balance. C.J. Anderson's going to be an important part of it the rest of the way. And you got to tee off on Kyle Orton. If you can get around him, you can force him into some mistakes.
Gray the tight end in motion. 2nd down, long 3. Gray the block, but they come the other way. A little shuffle pass, and it's caught by Jackson, the oldest running back in the NFL, and he's toppled by T.J. Ward, who comes from the Denver secondary. It's a gain of 4, and he's up to the 31-yard line.
This is a really good alert play here by Orton. trying to throw the ball downfield. It's a two-man route. It's not there at the last second. He just feels Fred Jackson slip out, and Fred Jackson makes a world of difference in the backfield. I think he's one of the best third down backs in all of football. He can block. He's really smart with the protections, and he's great getting out, running those burst routes and those screen routes.
Still trying to get his regular gait after the groin injury back in October. It is a first down up to the 31-yard line. Orton, Jackson, making a miss, and into the secondary he goes to the 43-yard line, and brought down on the play by linebacker Lorente McCray. It is a gain of 12 and a first down for Buffalo.
Well, they've got to be able to run the football off tackle. Slow down, take the edge off of these pass rushers. You've got Von Miller and you've got DeMarcus Ware. You've got to be able to run the football successfully on the early downs.
His run defense of Denver, Rich, is pretty good. Number 2 in the NFL, only allowing 72 yards on the ground a game.
No, they're stingy. Tough to run against. You're right, Kevin. Do a good job with their front.
First and 10 at the 43. Orton going to his third option. And that was Sammy Watkins, who was being tailed on the near side by Chris Harris Jr. Incomplete. But you could see him make his progressions, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's a guy that, he's an experienced player, does a nice job working through the progressions. I think they're struggling a little bit because they're very young and inexperienced at wide receiver. You've got Woods, who's a second-year player. Watkins is a rookie. Chris Hogan, the third down receiver. Kyle Orton has had to be very patient with this young group. They're going to have to win at the line of scrimmage. They're going to get a lot of press man-to-man coverage.
Bryce Brown is coming as a running back on second down and 10. And here comes Brown, getting a pulling block by Wood. And works his way on the sideline, as you see, belted out of bounds by a couple, gets near midfield, and the run is good for 7 yards.
You look at the rushing attack. What was a strength of this offense is now just producing at a pedestrian pace. They're averaging just 98 yards a game on the ground. That's going to be key today, to be able to have some success on the early downs. They can't afford to fall behind in the down and distance against this Denver defense.
Jackson back in, third down and 3 for Kyle Orton. Denver in the nickel. Little chip block by Jackson. Now he gets the ball, and he's got the first down out on the flat, brought down by Talib. It is a catch and run to the 43. He picks up 7. Fred Jackson, number 6 among running backs in the NFL in receptions.
Wow, he's terrific. I mean, he's so savvy. He's going to chip on Von Miller first, and then he just leaks out and runs that little wide route. And this is what he's in there to do. He's going to help the tackle, make his block a little bit easier, and then he finds a way to sneak out. He is such a luxury, it's a comfort for Kyle Orton.
7th play of the drive. And Orton looking for Watkins. Coverage across the way by Talib.
Sometimes you can just see the timing and rhythm that's off a little bit, Kevin. And you got to wonder, is it the rookie receiver not getting his depth? Not running the right route versus press as opposed to off coverage. There's subtle adjustments that he's still figuring out as a rookie.
Against any particular defense, would you change the length of the route? Would you shorten it up against really hard press?
Yeah, sometimes if you get stymied at the line of scrimmage, you don't get off. You can't necessarily get your depth. That's something you've got to work out between the receiver and quarterback.
Jackson bumped into Henderson on that 2nd and 10, and upended on the play by T.J. Ward. It's a loss of a yard. They go back to the 44. Ward is playing closer to the line, thus he's in a lot of plays like we just saw.
Well, that's why they went out and got him. He's a real thumper. He wants to be down around the line of scrimmage. He's a physical run support safety. And if you're going to play Buffalo, you better defend the screen game. They're very good. They've got a back that's just terrific, and they've got linemen that can get out in front of the screen and cut.
Hogan is in. Goodwin in as wide receivers. 3rd down and 11. Jackson again, blocked by Wood, and then tackled across the way by David Bruton Jr. He gets as far as about the 38 and picks up 5. That'll bring up 4th down and about 5.
I think you're always looking for ways, if you're Buffalo, to steal an extra possession.
And is this it right here on 4th down?
Yeah, I mean, you look at where you're at. You're just, maybe it's in between kicking it and punting the football. look, when you're 7-5, you got to be aggressive. They've got to be able to try and gain a possession against the Broncos.
But it does, Rich, in watching Orton, seem like he's more comfortable in this system.
You know what? He's an experienced player, Kevin. He's been on 5 different teams in 10 years, but I think he's playing his best football with the Bills.
4th and 6 into the nickel. Orton for his tight end and knocked away. Nice coverage on the play by Brandon Marshall. They were going for Scott Chandler, and on downs, the Bills will give it back. But they're trying to establish something early here in Denver in a scoreless first quarter. The clock at 5:30.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Jared the Galleria of Jewelry. And by Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further.
The Buffalo in Colorado. We just had a 10-play drive by the Bills. They give it up on downs. Buffalo's first possession, 5 and fumble by Watkins. Second Denver possession right now. From the 39 in the pistol, 1st and 10. Good block by Green. Oh, he's got him. Welker. What a catch. Brought down on the play in the secondary by Buffalo's Searcy. The gain takes him to the Buffalo 23, 38-yard connection to Welker.
What a terrific throw. Peyton Manning's actually going to fake the ball to C.J. Anderson, turns his back to the line of scrimmage and just throws a dart right between the 2 safeties to Wes Welker. And he threw it in about the only place he possibly could to Welker.
Welker's 36th reception of the season. Not the typical numbers we're used to seeing from Wes Welker.
No, it's been a quiet year so far for him, Kevin. Just 2 touchdowns.
Yep. Looked like Mario Williams may have jumped, but was he induced by the right tackle Vasquez? And that's the conversation.
You got to be able to mix up the snap count. No one does it better than
False
Peyton
start.
Manning.
Offense, number 18, made a quick and abrupt motion with his hands. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 1st down.
Let's mention again. There was very little movement there from Manning. 1st and 15.
Well, Peyton knows that he's got to find a way to slow down Mario Williams, Jerry Hughes, Marcel Darius, and Kyle Williams. It's one of the best defensive lines in football.
It's Emmanuel Sanders in motion. C.J. Anderson run right there. The 2nd-year player out of Cal takes it for 6 and is down to the 23-yard line. Vote now for the 2015 Pro Bowl. It's fantasy football for reals. Select the best players at every position, regardless of conference, either online or on your mobile device at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot. 2nd down and 9. Big play here, a 38-yard completion to Wes Welker. Anderson again. Into a thicket, and there just is not much there as he works his way to the 20 and picks up 2. Is there a right way to defend Manning? What do you do if you're a defensive coordinator like Jim Schwartz coming into this one?
Well, Kevin, historically, teams that have had success defending Peyton Manning have been able to generate a pass rush with just 3- and 4-man rushes. The teams that can drop 7 and 8 in coverage. And Buffalo, they're one of those teams. I mean, they have this great defensive line. It's a defensive line that's generated 36.5 sacks. So they can do it. I mean, if they can rush 3 and 4 and get to Peyton and drop 7 or 8 in coverage, they have a good chance.
As a team, Buffalo number 1 in sacks in the NFL. 3rd and 7 for Manning. And going for Welker again. What a play. Terrific. Duke Williams knock away and make it. No, that was Nickel Roby. Roby is the one to knock it away. A flag was thrown at the 8.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Defense, number 37.
It was on Roby.
5-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
So Nickel Roby picks it up after the knockaway, defending Welker.
Well, he's in position. I don't know, Kevin. I just don't see it.
Has it ever been harder to play defensive back in the NFL?
It is tough. I mean, the rules have made it very difficult for defenders. Well, he was in great position. Made a terrific play on the ball. You can see how Roby's disappointed.
This defense of Buffalo, number 5, 7th against the run, number 5 against the pass. All led by former Detroit head coach Jim Schwartz. 1st and 10.
20.
It's C.J. Anderson. It was hit as he got into the secondary by Aaron Williams, then tumbles down. A burst of 8 right there for Anderson, who has had some good games on the ground lately. 167 yards against Miami, 168 last week in Kansas City against the Chiefs.
He is running hard, Kevin. He's a power runner that can break tackles with his leg drive in the secondary.
He's carried it 59 times in the last 2 weeks. 2nd down and 2. That is a touchdown. Anderson, 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. 6-yard burst. Roby was called for the interference, which gave him 1st and close. 1st and 10 deep.
Really nice job by Ramirez and Vasquez on the right side. Montgomery gets a block. This is too easy for C.J. Anderson.
That's the first quarter touchdown allowed by this Buffalo defense in the last 8 games. Now here's Connor Barth, who had all those field goals last week in Kansas City, with the extra point, making it 7-0 Denver. The big play was a 38-yard pass to Welker. And then C.J. Anderson, who has been the force of this offense for the Broncos, tumbles in from 6. Well, Thursday, Larry Fitzgerald and the first-place Cardinals take on the Rams as the playoff chase heats up. Thursday night football at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live on NFL Network. And the Rams pitching a shutout for a 2nd consecutive game. It's the first time since 1945, when the Rams were called the Cleveland Rams, that they've had consecutive defensive shutouts, and today they threw another one.
They're starting to come on. Wins over Seattle, San Francisco, Denver. 2 shutouts. Playing some great defense right now in St. Louis.
Big Ben getting the McManus kickoff, and he'll bring it out, as you can see, for the Buffalo Bills. He breaks about 3 tackles on his way out, and finally brought down by linebacker Corey Nelson on a 27-yard return. Another sellout. 2:37 in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Winter Park looks beautiful then, up in the mountains, not far from Denver. Beautiful day. From the 19-yard line, after Denver just got a 6-yard touchdown run by C.J. Anderson, it's Orton, 1st down and 10. Anthony Dixon will take it, and Booby breaking some tackles as he pile drives his way up to the 30-yard line, brought down by Ward, picks up 11, moves the chains for Buffalo. Well, we just had this final given to us as Luck hit T.Y. Hilton with 32 seconds to play on a 1-yard touchdown pass. The Colts, their 3rd fourth quarter comeback this year. Next week on CBS, they'll take on Houston in a very important game. 1st and 10. Dixon remains in the backfield with Orton. Outside they go to Hogan. Brought down the play by linebacker Von Miller. And he picks up 3, and he's up to the 33-yard line. Slow starts, Rich, have been one of the issues with this Buffalo offense.
Yeah, last week not good, Kevin. We talked about that. You know, when you play against Peyton Manning and the Broncos, if you're a quarterback, you got to think scoring every time you get a possession. You know, you got to score, kick to score, and if you have to punt, you got to punt them back. You got to punt inside the 30-yard line, make Peyton Manning go 80 yards. Doesn't need any short fields, doesn't need any turnovers to help him.
6 defensive backs, 2nd down and 7. And here they go in the end around. This is Marquise Goodwin, and he's forced out of bounds. Hit on the play by Bradley Roby, the 1st-round pick out of Ohio State. A 12-yard end run by Marquise Goodwin out of Texas, and they move the ball to the 45 and a 1st.
Yeah, you're going to see Smith. He's a defensive end. He gets fooled. He's got his eyes in the backfield. He never feels Goodwin come around on the end around. another way to get the ball on the perimeter for Buffalo.
A lot of looks on offense from the Bills to begin things.
I like what we're seeing so far. I mean, they've been aggressive. They went for it on a 4th and 6 in the first possession. Can't play scary when you come to Denver.
Broncos back in their base, 1st and 10. Good time for Orton. Now they come up the middle and he goes outside. They had Ward, who was laying in wait in the weeds, come up the middle and force the pass by Orton. That makes it now 2nd down and 10. Well, tomorrow on CBS, fast cars, a star basketball player, military school cadets, and a serial killer have something in common. Find out what's on a mysterious new episode of NCIS Los Angeles. That's tomorrow at 10, 9 Central. Only on CBS. Doug Marrone watching from the side. 2nd down and 10 for the Bills.
He's done a really nice job, Doug Marrone, Kevin. He has this team in a position that they haven't been in a long time. Since 2000. Bills going into December with 7 wins.
Bryce Brown is in. He gets a little screen pass here. Urbeck was out the block, as was Wood, and he works his way into the grasp of defensive back David Bruton Jr. It is a gain of 9. Good chunks of yards picked up by this offense to the 46-yard line of Denver.
Yeah, you get a good look at Marshall. He gets fooled a little bit, and he slipped Bryce Brown out the back door. I always liked Bryce Brown. I really thought he was had a chance to be a special player in Philadelphia. I thought it was a good pickup by the Bills.
Well, you can see that Derek Wolfe is injured and walking off. With a look at Brandon Marshall, their leading tackler, and that is going to take us to the conclusion of the first quarter. A 6-yard touchdown run by C.J. Anderson of Denver. The first-place Broncos at the end of 1 lead the Bills. Marrone and the Bills have won 2 straight, 7-5 coming into today, and on this particular drive and through the first quarter, they showed some nice ball control.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job, Kevin. I think the best way to beat Manning is to keep him on the sidelines. They've dominated time possession, having the ball 10 minutes and 8 seconds, 20 plays to 8 for the Broncos.
From the Bronco 46, 3rd down and 1 for Buffalo. Jackson knifing his way right into the teeth of that D. He was hit by Sylvester Williams right up the middle. And if they spot it correctly, which I think they will, inside the 45, looks like they've got the first down. So he makes the move right there. On this drive, Rich, they got an 11-yard run by Dixon, an end around of 12 from Goodwin, and a 9-yard catch and run by Brown.
Kevin, they've been good on the early downs. That's really helped them when they've gotten to 3rd down. They've been in manageable situations, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. They're convertible downs against this Denver defense.
Bryce Brown is back in the backfield for quarterback Kyle Orton. Denver coming in 9-3, winning at Kansas City last week. With a 1st and 10, Brown gobbled up on the play and a loss of 2. Malik Jackson back to the 46-yard line, into the sideline, and Stacey Dales.
Well, guys, Broncos defensive end Derek Wolfe, concussion-like symptoms. He is being evaluated in the locker room right now.
We'll watch him. He's played well this year. Derek Wolfe, a couple sacks on that defensive line.
And more reps for Jackson, who just made a big stop in the backfield. You got a lot of talent up front when you look at that Denver defensive line. Wolfe and Williams and Knighton. Of course, DeMarcus Ware's had an outstanding season.
10 sacks. 2nd down and 12. Hogan, he's got room to roam. And close to a first down, belted out of play by rookie Bradley Roby. It is a catch and run of 13 yards. They'll put him at the 34 of Denver in a first down.
Well, the misdirection has been good for them. You're just going to see him just sneak Hogan around. But look at the pull it gets on the Denver defense, and Hogan's able to slip out the back door.
Hogan hadn't done much the last couple games. Did have the 1-yard touchdown reception last week against Cleveland.
He's not the fastest guy,
No.
Kevin, but he's a player that Kyle Orton feels very comfortable with. He's going to do the right thing. He's going to get his depth. He'll be in the right place at the right time.
Brown is in, fake end around to Watkins. They dump it off. There's a lot of congestion there, and Brown couldn't get his hands on it. Kind of bunched up, incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Do you sense that with Orton, they've found some stability at this position as he took over for E.J. Manuel in October?
No question. I mean, I think you look at the experience part of it, Kevin, and I think he's brought some toughness to the position, the leadership. He's a smart guy. He can handle a lot of volume. The best thing right now, he's got a high completion percentage. He's not turning the football over. Just 5 picks on the season.
Jackson in 2nd down and 10. For Jackson. Good block on the side by Cordy Glenn, and out of bounds he runs. Forced out of bounds by Moore, down to the 24 of Denver, close to a first down, about 9.5 from Fred Jackson.
Again, it's a little misdirection. You're going to see Jackson. He's just going to work backside. They do a good job with the motion and the movement. And you see the pull that Goodwin gives you on the backside and allows Fred Jackson to get up on the second level.
And Glenn, that left tackle, sealing it off. 3rd down and 1. Pace defense for Denver. Orton. Here comes Malik Jackson. Here comes Knighton. And he hits the deck. Wisely losing 2. He'll live for another day. They're back to about the 26-yard line.
Well, this is not good by Kyle Orton, Kevin. Just not understanding where the first down marker is. I mean, they try and throw it on 3rd and 1. It's not there. And this is where he's really out of his element. He's not a guy that wants to run with the football. But, boy, you got to make an effort, don't you?
Now, this defensive coaching staff knows Orton pretty well at Denver, don't they? He played there. They know what he can do.
I think there's an advantage. I mean, just familiarity with Kyle Orton. They have a history with him. And John Fox and the staff, they know what he likes, what he doesn't like, what he's good at, what he struggles with. It should help this Denver defense knowing what buttons to push.
That is a 44-yard field goal by Dan Carpenter. Last week he was 4 of 5, terrific. Orton gets him into field goal range with a succession of plays, a 13-yard catch and run by Hogan, 10-yard run Jackson, and the 44-yard. The Broncos about ready to get the ball back. In the second quarter is where Manning has really paid things off.
That's where they make the move, Kevin. 128 second quarter points, second most. This is where they have a tendency to pull away.
So we just got a 44-yard Carpenter field goal for the Buffalo Bills. Early in the second quarter, and that ball's going to come off the tee to kick off here. It'll be Jordan Gay, a kickoff specialist. In fact, these are probably the only 2 teams in the league that have a kickoff specialist. Brandon McManus was re-signed by this Denver team. And it's interesting, since the kickoffs have been moved from the 30 to the 35, you don't find that much for just the kickoff specialist, although Buffalo has had that for many years.
Yeah, you got a good one here, though, Kevin, that can really boom it. And I think special teams, talking to Doug Marrone last night, he said that if they have an advantage, they feel it's in the kicking game. This is where they need to change field position.
I don't know if he topped that or what, but there it goes. And
it wasn't very good.
Close our conversation with the return here by the wide receiver Andre Caldwell, a 25-yard return. Manning will come back out there. 6-yard touchdown run by his back. C.J. Anderson puts him up 7-3 on CBS. Santa, there's Elves here in Denver this afternoon. 44-yard field goal moments ago by the Bills. Only the 9th play offensively run by Manning today from his 37, 1st and 10. Fake to Anderson, blocked by Vasquez, a wobbler downfield, and it is picked off by Corey Graham. They were going for Sanders. Here comes Graham with his 12th career interception, and blockers ahead. He's got Roby, he's got Williams, and he's hit by Demaryius Thomas and knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. A 60-yard return. Peyton Manning has just thrown his 10th interception of the season.
Well, Kevin, they take the shot on 1st and 10, and all kind of sails on Peyton Manning.
It wobbled.
After the interception and during the return, holding by the defense, number 95, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It's Buffalo's ball, first down.
But the 60-yard return wiped out, and so they get it at the 40-yard line.
Well, they're trying to hit Emmanuel Sanders on the post route. He's got a little bit of separation there, but the ball kind of hangs up on Peyton Manning. It's underthrown, and Corey Graham makes a terrific play on this ball. Just goes up and catches it at its highest point.
Manning's first interception, Rich, in his last 80 pass attempts.
Well, he's been so good, but that one just got away from him.
Now let's see if the Bills can cash in. They had a wonderful 12-play drive the last time with the 44-yard field goal. So they've had it 3 times, 5 plays fumble, 10 plays on downs, and the field goal, 4th possession, 1st and 10. Orton. He finds his rugged tight end, and that is Lee Smith, 4th reception of the season. Tackle made by Johnson, among others. The head is gone. Just headbutted by Malik Jackson. Look at Smith in there just jawing away. 6-yard pickup, and they will place him at about the 47.
That wasn't good.
And no yellow after all that.
Just watch him right after this. He hits him right in the chest with his helmet. Officials missed that one.
Couple tight ends. Jackson on 2nd down and 4. Wrapped up at the line. It's a gain of a yard on the play. Malik Jackson was right there. He's up to the 47-yard line with a look at the numbers for our quarterbacks early in this one.
Yeah, not a lot of work for Peyton Manning so far, but Kyle Orton, Kevin, he's been pretty effective, and he's done a good job when it's not been there down the field, finding a completion to the backs, especially Fred Jackson.
Robert Woods has been quiet so far for Buffalo, the wide receiver.
He had a difficult time getting the ball on the perimeter. Talked about the importance of winning against press man-to-man coverage.
Jackson in the backfield, nickel secondary, 3rd and 3. Good block by Glenn off to Jackson. Read so well that time on it, sniffing it out, David Bruton Jr. It's a loss of 4, back to the 43. Each team has turned it over, and each team unable to do anything with the takeaway.
See Bruton right there. He's got the back in man-to-man coverage. And so he's down there in the box as he sees Fred Jackson slip out the back door. He's right there to make the play. The secondary has played well. Their defensive line allows their secondary to play more aggressive.
Colton Schmidt to punt. Wes Welker is back at about the 10-yard line for the Denver Broncos. The wind negligible.
That's a beautiful day here in Denver.
It's gorgeous. It just could not be any nicer. About 56, 57 degrees. Long snap almost blocked the long snap from Sanborn. Parker waving it away, and because of the bad snap that he had to maneuver to get, it was a short punt. And they're still trying to get some position on where it is. Good catch by Schmidt. Caldwell was running right at him.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. PlayStation 4. Greatness awaits. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer.
Hey fans, get the fastest football scores and updates with the CBS Sports app, the fastest app for sports fans. Download the CBS Sports app now. We just had a 14-yard punt, but it was a poor long snap. And they take over, Denver does, with a 1st and 10 handoff to C.J. Anderson from their 40, gain of 3, piling his way up the middle. The hit by Stephon Gilmore. Well, the special teams have been a little bit of a story here for the Bills early.
Kevin, I said the importance of the kicking game for Buffalo, and you look at the poor kickoff from Gay 2 series ago, and then the rushed punt by Schmidt. Kickoff, the Broncos got the ball at the 37. This drive starts at the 40-yard line.
You saw Garrison Sanborn on the sideline, the long snapper for the Bills. 2nd down and 7 it was. Which quarterbacks practice all the time, don't they?
They do, and we talked to Peyton Manning on Friday, and I asked him what the over-under was on drawing this defensive line off sides.
Defense number 94 jumped into the neutral zone, caused the false start. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And you just study film. There's 2 players in particular, Kevin, on that side of the ball. One of them's Mario Williams. We saw him jump a couple times now. And Marcel Darius. He's got a history of jumping the snap count a little bit. So I'm not surprised to see Peyton Manning use the snap count early and often in this one.
Bills in the nickel, 2nd down and 2.
So Hodge! Blue 20!
Anderson gets it here. And brought down by Kyle Williams on a gain of 3 by midfield. Our defense is rich. When in the tape you watch, are they playing Manning differently?
Well, I think certain teams are, Kevin. I think that you look at Peyton, and what they've done. I think they've made a shift, a philosophical shift since the St. Louis game. I think they're trying to run the football a little bit more. So I think you're seeing a little bit more 7- and 8-man front. And you're seeing some one-on-one coverage. Teams are playing a little bit more man-to-man coverage against the Broncos.
It is a first down, and the end around Sanders. Looking for some blocking, got it from Green, the tight end, and forced out of bounds by Williams, chased by Bradham, picks up 13 yards on the play. They'll take it to the Buffalo 37 with some shoving after the play and a first down.
Well, you get so caught up with C.J. Anderson that you don't feel you're not anticipating the end around. This is something that Buffalo did to the Denver defense in the first quarter. When you have a back that's coming off of some big days, 167 and 168 yards, he gets your attention.
Manning with the 1st and 10 handoff to Anderson, and that was read so well by Mario Williams. Came through, the first-time captain, only allows a gain of 1. They go to the 35.
He's having a terrific season, Kevin. He's the AFC Defensive Player of the Month for November. You know, he's a terrific rusher. We know that about him. Got 12 sacks, but he's so much better. You study him the last couple seasons at playing the run. He is a complete player at the defensive end position.
Came a Bill back in 2012. 2nd down and 9 for Peyton. Anderson read well that time too. Darius got him. Drove him down to about the 33 on a gain of 2 right there.
Well, you look at play selection, and I think you go back to the St. Louis game, and I think it was a real eye-opener for John Fox and Adam Gase and the offensive staff. Peyton got hit way too much. They threw it 54 times. And look at the balance. Week 12, 50-50. Last week in Kansas City, which I thought was an outstanding game plan. It was cold, it was windy. He ran the ball 45 times against the Chiefs.
Just been told Cersei is out with cramps. Williams taking his place. That's Duke Williams. There's a 3rd and 7 for Manning. And they're going to say that they were early on the hit. Sanders waylaid by Stephon Gilmore. That was pretty close. The timing.
Well, he hit him in the head. He hit him up in the neck and head region,
which you cannot do.
And what I'm surprised of, Kevin, is that Peyton Manning never saw Stephon Gilmore.
And they've just thrown another flag as the two teams away from the injured player Sanders were shoving and pushing and jawing.
Well, what happens is he's running a man-to-man route into zone coverage. And Peyton Manning never sees the corner, Stephon Gilmore.
Almost looked like he was leading with his shoulder. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, he actually hits him right on the shoulder.
As the ball was almost at his fingertips.
You know, if you're a defensive player, Kevin, I mean, what do you say to these guys?
I was just going to ask,
if you're Jim Schwartz, I mean, you're coaching them, you're talking about lowering the aiming point, and Stephon Gilmore's there. He's got a defender or a receiver coming in his area.
But if you're trying to time the pass and leading with your shoulder, but it was high, that was one of the issues.
But he hits him in the shoulder. Listen, I thought initially he hit him in the neck or the head region. But watch where he hits him. Sometimes
There's 2 fouls against the defense. Pass interference. Defense number 24. That penalty is declined. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 55. That penalty is accepted. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, so they're actually calling a pass interference and not. So we looked at the hit. You saw the flag come out so quick. It almost looked like it was simultaneous.
And here's a reaction by Emmanuel Sanders.
He's a tough guy.
He is, but I don't know. There's not. Do you find fault with the hit in the secondary that time by Gilmore?
I thought it was a bang play.
Well timed, and then he got him with the shoulder.
What else he could do?
But he got him high. But as you saw, that was declined. They go with the unsportsmanlike conduct from the 19. It is a 1st and 10. C.J. Anderson, got by Bradham, and then he was brought down by Darius, who jumps on him at about the 12. That is a burst of 6 for Anderson, who a year ago only carried 7 times as a rookie. He's carried 59 times combined coming into today, the last 2 games, and hobbles to the sideline, and they'll bring in Juwan Thompson. They've gone through the running backs. Monte Ball injured, Hillman injured.
I'm a little surprised, Kevin, we haven't seen Julius Thomas.
Maybe waiting for the red zone, which they're in right now. Green is the tight end, 2nd down and 4. Thompson. Then grabbed by Preston Brown, hit on the play by Nigel Bradham. It's a gain of 3 on 2nd and 4, bringing up 3rd and 1. Now near the 9. Let's see where they spot the ball. There's Julius Thomas.
Yeah, 9 games in, he was the most lethal red zone target in the league. Had 40 catches, and 12 of those were for touchdowns.
They gave him the 1st down. He got it. So it's 1st and goal for Denver.
I saw him doing a lot of individual work with Peyton Manning on the practice field on Friday. I really felt like he'd be a part of the game plan, especially down this part of the field.
No, seriously, you remember, 1st and goal at the 9. Welker hit at the 2. Read by Aaron Williams. 2nd catch by Welker. Picks up 7 right there. 2nd down and goal.
Wes Welker is so smooth in and out of these little out cuts. It's a good job chopping at the top of the route.
Sometimes it's not what Manning can do, it's what the guys around him can do.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very smart football team. You look at this offense, put a lot of pressure on the perimeter people. Change a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage. You got to be a smart guy to function in this system.
Stewart just coming in and held up and done at about the 2-yard line. Finished off right there at a couple. Manny Lawson was in on the hit along with others. It is a gain of a yard by newly instated running back Jeremy Stewart, who was signed to the active roster back in the 22nd of November.
You think about a team that's been so good down the red zone. They've struggled last week, for example, to convert just 1 touchdown in 5 red zone trips. This is where they really missed Julius Thomas.
Timeout has been taken, and Buffalo will use their first. I'd like to remind you, coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower for news, scores, and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report from our CBS studios in New York. Look at Manning, now at 38. You mentioned as you get older, I guess you need to change as a quarterback, especially a guy that's as detail conscious as he is.
Yeah, as he's gotten older, Kevin, he's had to make some adjustments. He no longer throws on Wednesdays anymore at practice. Doesn't go out 2 hours before the game. I remember when he was in Indy, he and Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne would go out and throw. He said one time he threw 200 balls before he actually took a snap in a game. He no longer does that.
3rd and goal at the 1, Anderson. And let's see, we have not gotten the signal yet. And now we do. It is a touchdown. Anderson had just come back in after you saw him leaving a couple plays ago on a 1-yard touchdown run. Anderson's 2nd touchdown run today for the Denver Broncos.
Well, he is so strong in his lower body, and he's not very tall. He just finds a way to get under that big offensive line. Sometimes these smaller backs, they get lost behind that big offensive line.
Well, there was an interference penalty that was initially called on Gilmore. That was declined. There were 2 big penalties. The other one in sportsmanlike conduct, and that was on Jerry Hughes. That was a 1-yard touchdown run, which culminates in 8-play, 60-yard drive for Denver. Coming in having won 2 straight. They've won 3 of their last 4. And Rich, the only team in the NFL to rank in the top 10 in both offense and defense. And Anderson taking it across here. They are reviewing. As you can see, he's there at the bottom. But they will take a look at it as all scoring plays are reviewed.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
1-yard touchdown run by C.J. Anderson. 2nd today. Earlier one is 6 yards. This of 1. Connor Barth with the extra point. Making it 14-3 Denver. It was a 9-play, 60-yard Broncos.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart, where you'll find unbeatable prices on this year's top gifts. And by Kelley Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at KBB.com.
Back in Denver tonight on 60 Minutes. Is there a new way to treat cancer? A revolutionary doctor thinks so, and here are his plans only on 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. Broncos with 2 rushing touchdowns. Coming in at 9-3 with a look at Peyton Manning. So far, he's 3 of 5.
Can't remember, Kevin, the last time Peyton Manning only threw 5 passes in the first half of a football game.
And in terms of rushers, they've run it 14 times. Anderson 11.
Certainly more of an emphasis on the running game right now with the production that C.J. Anderson's had the last 4 weeks.
Brandon McManus, who was with this team for the first half of the season, let go with the kickoff and picked up by Marcus Thigpen. He leaves it in the end zone to the 20 on a touchback, and this is the updated playoff picture in the AFC.
Now you look at the couple divisions in particular, Kevin, the AFC North, a little bit of a logjam there. Big win for Pittsburgh today over Cincinnati, and how about Baltimore beating Miami, and of course the AFC West. And you look at Denver, San Diego, Kansas City. All 3 of those teams made the postseason a year ago.
Bills have it. Buffalo began 2-0, then lost 3 of 4. Now they've won 4 of their last 6 to be in the conversation. First time they've had 7 wins going into December in 14 seasons. Kyle Orton with the 1st and 10. Down he goes, Malik Jackson. The sack back to the 14-yard line. Jackson gets his 3rd sack of the season. It's a loss of 6.
Oh, he's right here. I mean, just they get pressure off the edge. Where it gets up the field, and it creates a little bit of a crease. You see Jackson, Kyle Orton has to step up because of the pressure that Ware gets as he steps right into the lap of Jackson. Good pass rush, has speed off the edge and push up inside.
This defense had 6 sacks against Albert Smith in Kansas City at Arrowhead on Sunday night. 2nd down, 16 yards to go. Nickel secondary. Orton hit again, and down he goes. This time back to the 9. Von Miller, sack number 12. 3rd sack, loss of 5.
Well, the one thing about Kyle Orton, Kevin, he's got a tendency to hold the ball, and he's not very mobile in the pocket. He's like a statue back there. The Broncos know exactly where he is going to be.
Denver's just taking a timeout. Now they have 2 remaining. Kyle Orton returning to Denver for the 2nd time since he was waived back in 2011. Lost the duel with Tim Tebow. First time he was back here, he led Kansas City past Tim Tebow and the Broncos 7-3. And of course he went to Kansas City, then to Dallas, and then signed in late August with the Buffalo Bills. Here's a guy who had no training camp, no OTAs, and has had to learn on the fly with Buffalo.
And he told us last night, I have to step up in the pocket, and the ball's got to come out on time. I can't hold it versus this Denver defense.
Now the Bills need the 30. It's 3rd down and 21.
And I just saw John Fox a moment ago yelling out to that defense, alert screen.
Into the dime. Underneath, Chandler hit by Harris. And hit by Bruton, whacked by Marshall, gain of 11 on the play, so a little breathing space to punt this ball as Chandler makes the grab, his 2nd today, and the Buffalo Bills will have to punt.
Coach Fox will save those timeouts and use a 2-minute warning. Put the short-handed Wes Welker back there. Peyton Manning so good, this Denver offense, Kevin, so good in 2-minute situations. 7 times in the final 2 minutes of the half, they have scored 6 touchdowns and a field goal.
We're at the 2-minute warning and a 14-3 Denver lead on CBS. We're at the 2-minute warning here in Denver. 2 rushing touchdowns by C.J. Anderson. The offense tilting in that running game toward him, and he has made Buffalo pay. Last punt for Schmidt was 14 yards, retrieving a bad long snap. Welker at the 33. Hanson and down about the 39-yard line. And he was hit on the play by the Buffalo Bills special teamer Ron Brooks. 7-yard return. NFL Play 60 encourages kids to come out and play for 60 minutes a day. To learn how and to find great play ideas, visit NFLrush.com/play60. And before today's game, the Broncos hosted select kids from the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Denver, who distinguished themselves in a Play 60 challenge. Rich, I'm looking at these numbers, and Peyton Manning in the first half, 3 of 5. When was the last time you knew Peyton Manning to throw only 5 passes in a half of football?
Kevin, when was the last time we heard an opposing head coach say the key to stopping the Broncos offense is to stop the run? Now, I've never heard that.
Isn't that something?
But that's who they are. I mean, they're running the football right now with C.J. Anderson and having great success.
Yeah, the 1st and 10 Manning. He's got Sanders, who is hit by Duke Williams. The catch down to the 24 of the Buffalo Bills. He picks up 37 on the play, 1st down.
Well, terrific play action. He gets the squeeze. You get single high safety, and Peyton's able to find Sanders up the seam, and Sanders takes another big hit.
Sanders has had a career year.
He's not the biggest, but he's willing to go across the middle of the field and do that dirty work.
Manning 1st and 10, looking here for Sanders, and he was drilled by Aaron Williams in that hard-hitting secondary for the Buffalo Bills. 2nd down and 10.
They are taking turns right now, teeing off on Sanders. The play before it was Duke Williams, and this time it's Aaron Williams.
Manning has thrown an interception, and that is only the 13th giveaway by this offense this season. 2nd down and 10. Nickel secondary for Buffalo. The wide receiver screen. It's Welker, and he was hit by Roby and banged on the play by Bradham. It is a pickup of 4 to the 20.
You look at the production that they have had in these 2-minute situations. Not surprising when you consider it's Peyton Manning.
Those wide receiver screens, they use them a lot in Denver because you can get that block if you're out there trying to block for the guy who gets the ball.
And it's also a good adjustment versus pressure. It's the ability to get the ball in the perimeter quickly. Some receivers like Welker and Sanders.
3rd and 6. Vasquez the block. It's bobbled, and then Tammy reels it in, and he fumbles the ball, and Buffalo has gotten it at the 10, stopping the drive with the 2nd Denver turnover today. Tammy was waylaid and coughs it up, playing with bad ribs, and he felt all of it there.
Keep an eye on Duke Williams. He comes in. He's the first one that gets the hit. I think he jars it out from Jacob Tammy. These safeties from Buffalo have been bringing the wood. Some big hits by that group. And you see the frustration from Peyton Manning.
So Tammy, who was with Peyton in Indianapolis, can't hold on to it after with a spin move. So at the 10-yard line with a couple timeouts, the Bills will take over, but you can see just 32 seconds remaining in the half. A Verizon halftime report coming up next. JB and Company, scores, highlights, and news. A look at Thursday Night Football on the Verizon halftime report. We're the 1st and 10, and this is Fred Jackson, wrapped up by Malik Jackson. With no gain on the play, and they stop it right there, and the clock continues to tick, although both teams have the 2 timeouts. Buffalo may just take a deficit of 14-3 to the locker room.
And I think Buffalo has to be really pleased, Kevin, with how their defense has played in this game. That's a big stop right there before the half. They're able to get another stop in the first series of the game after their offense turned it over. Jim Schwartz has got to be feeling really good about how his unit has played for the first 30 minutes.
Manning has been picked off in a fumble there by the tight end. Let's go down to Stacey Dales.
Well, Coach, another key stop for your defense, but your offense just 3 points. You told us yesterday we got to score points. That was your #1 key. How do you do it?
Well, we do. We just got to keep the drives alive. You know, we were 3rd and short here, missed it, had to kick the field goal. We went for it on 4th down there. We need to convert there and go. We got to make some more big plays. And defensively, you know, the penalties obviously are hurting us. You got to stop the penalties. You know, we were off the field in both those drives and then wind up scoring. So we'll go in and regroup, come back out, and field position's killing us right now.
Thanks, Coach.
The Bills have won 2 consecutive games. They're in the conversation in the playoffs in the AFC. Denver has the best record, tied with New England in the AFC at 9-3. We'll take a break, then take you to New York. You're watching the NFL on CBS. 9-3 Denver, 7-5 Buffalo. We're going to the second half. Let's take a look at the Bows game changer as Manning handed off to C.J. Anderson for a 6-yard touchdown run. Manning has only thrown 9 times in the first half. The 2 touchdown runs by Anderson, who has been kind of the headliner offensively for this Denver team over the last couple of weeks. Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon. This Denver defense has shown some nice things in the first half.
They really have, Kevin, but in order for Buffalo to get back in the game, they're going to have to start throwing the football down the field a little bit. Woods, not a single catch, and of course, Watkins just one. But you look at the Buffalo defense, or the Denver defense really came out. Roby gets the big hit. Of course, Moore gets the fumble recovery. They go for it on 4th down. Nice break up there, of course. Constant pressure around Kyle Orton, sack from Jackson. They just did a nice job creating some pressure on the quarterback with 4 and 5-man pressure.
So I'm thinking now of Buffalo and what they have to do and how they view their first half and what they carry into the second.
Well, you're not going to win a lot of football games with just 1 field goal. They've got to be able to take some shots on the early down. They run the ball a lot on 1st down. I mentioned that the fact that Woods, not a single throw in his direction, and Sammy Watkins, their 1st-round pick, he's been targeted 3 times. He has just the 1 catch, which was a 13-yard catch where he fumbled on the 1st possession.
And Denver came in with only 12 giveaways. They've had 2 here in the first half. Denver has also taken advantage of a fumble by Sammy Watkins. They've gotten a takeaway. And both these teams, Rich, were boasting pretty good giveaway takeaway numbers coming in. Buffalo +9 and Broncos were +4 in that category.
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. I think Buffalo's got to hang their hat on the defense as well. Defense has played well. You have 158 yards. Almost half of it have come on 2 receptions. A Welker 38-yard reception, and of course Sanders went for 37.
Jordan Gay with the kickoff. They leave it in the end zone to the 20. Back down to Stacey Dales.
Just talked to John Fox, guys. Message to his players. Turn the page. Another 30 minutes to go. Real happy with the defense, especially that stop at the end, and no complaints with this offense that has been run heavy, and Peyton Manning has been protected.
Good stuff, Stacey. Thank you. By the way, I want to congratulate Stacey, who played college basketball at the University of Oklahoma. This past week, they lifted her number 21 to the rafters of the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman. One of the greatest female players in Oklahoma basketball history. Congratulations, Stacey. Great to have you today. Here's a 1st down and 10. They go outside. And Demarius Thomas, who's been quiet, ushered out of bounds by Corey Graham, who has a first-half interception. They pick up 5. They go to the 25.
Demarius Thomas really quiet, Kevin. Just the 1 catch in the first half. He's so good after the catch. He can turn those short passes into long gains. 88 catches coming in for over 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. Buffalo's corners have played well so far in this one.
And hit hard.
Safeties really played well. Peyton Manning taking his time, changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
With a 2nd down and 5, he elects to go to the running back, and that is C.J. Anderson, who is eventually, after a Duke Williams hit, finished off by Nigel Bradham and Brown on a gain of a yard, but the flag tossed.
Holding. Offense. Number 66. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
That's on Manny Ramirez, who is the right guard. And the first half resume for the Denver Broncos here this afternoon.
Well, you look at it, I'd say kind of a little inconsistent, Kevin. They've had some penalties, the drive killers. You look at the first possession of the game, they had a penalty, and another one here.
Now it becomes 2nd down and 15 for Manning. Manning moves up nicely around Mario Williams. He'll kick it outside to the running back Thompson, who digs his way into Corey Graham. He's close to the 1st down, hit also by Preston Brown. The rookie's up to the 29-yard line with a pickup of 14.
Kevin, it just seems like they have so many running backs just hanging around. You know, you got Ronnie Hillman and Monte Ball not even in uniform today. C.J. Anderson, he's been a pleasant surprise. Jawan Thompson, a free agent out of Duke. We saw Stewart earlier. It doesn't make a difference what back they put in there. They still get production.
But Manning puts them all on the same page in practice, which you watched on Friday.
Well, he leaves no stone unturned on the practice field. He's always grabbing those young players between periods.
3rd and 1. Look at this. Jawan Thompson. He is being chased by a couple, including Williams and Gilmore, and he's all the way down to the 24-yard line of the Buffalo Bills. A gallop of 47 yards and a Denver first down. Huge play.
Well, they just bounced the ball to the edge. Somebody comes screaming down. Safeties have been so good today for Buffalo, but Aaron Williams misses Thompson in the backfield.
Thompson is a rookie. He was a undrafted player out of Duke, who has only had, coming into today, 45 carries, but a couple of nice plays there, a 14-yard reception, and that 47-yard run to the 24 with the 1st and 10. Manning, Welker, got it. They were working on Nikel Roby. They get down to the 3. It's a pickup of 21. It is 1st and goal, Denver.
A little bit of a back shoulder throw here by Peyton Manning in man-to-man coverage. He's going to hold up Wes Welker in the hole. He's got Roby, the safety. Really terrific throw by Peyton Manning.
C.J. Anderson is down there with Manning with the 1st and goal. Anderson, he's got 2 touchdown runs, and there's number 3 from 3. A 3-yard touchdown run by C.J. Anderson, his 3rd today, and the Broncos annex their lead.
Well, they scored earlier in the very same play with C.J. Anderson offset. Do a nice job inside. You look at the play of Montgomery and Franklin and Ramirez. Center and the 2 guards have really played well inside against Marcel Darius and Kyle Williams.
Second time we've seen Anderson leave the field with a limp. Now here's Connor Barth, undrafted. Played 4 years with Tampa Bay on the street, and there he slings one through, and it's 21-3 Denver. We've got 12:01 to go. Manning usually gets at teams through the air. Today it's on the ground, and that time C.J. Anderson. They're taping the wheel there of C.J. Anderson, who's had a terrific day, part of 106 rushing yards, whereas the passing game, 142. It may not equate in terms of number of runs or passes, but the numbers at the end of the day in terms of passing and rushing are more balanced, which Denver's aiming for.
Well, there's definitely been a shift, Kevin. I think to try and have more balance after that St. Louis game where they threw it 54 times.
McManus kicks it out of the end zone over the head of Thigpen, and here comes Kyle Orton for his first second-half snaps.
Well, they've got to get something going, Kevin. You look at these first-half possessions for Buffalo, kind of ugly. Fumble in the first possession. They give it over on downs. They get a field goal in the 3rd possession, and then a couple 3-and-outs. And that's just, it's not good enough. I mean, we talked about the key here in the second half. They need some explosive plays, and they've got to be able to get the ball in the perimeter to Woods and Watkins. Got to find a way to get these guys some touches.
Boobie Dixon in the backfield, 1st down and 10. This is Dixon. And he pushes the pile up to about the 24-yard line. A host of Broncos are there, including Sylvester Williams on a gain of 3. One of the things, as you say, take a look at Watkins, is not having negative plays for Buffalo. They have, for the most part, tried to stay away from that in every game, but they know on the road in particular it can come back to bite you.
Yeah, really can't turn the ball over in the first series. You know, you look at Watkins there. He's getting a lot of attention, Kevin. You look at the success he had earlier in the season. You're starting to roll coverage to him. You're starting to see teams match up a little bit. You've got to do some things schematically to move him around a little bit.
They traded up for Watkins, a well-known story. Number 4 out of Clemson, 1st-round pick, 2nd down and 7. Up the middle they come. Orton, Woods, what a catch. Right in front of the defensive back, Raheem Moore. He's up to the 39, a strike at 17, and a Buffalo 1st down.
Well, I think their best receiver right now is Robert Woods, Kevin. The quarterback's got a lot of confidence in him that he's going to be in the right place at the right time. And he has the ability to make the difficult catch.
Woods out of USC's 2nd-round pick. And today, with his first reception, goes at 50 catches on the year. It's 1st and 10. Jackson back in. Jackson slides by Brandon Marshall and then keeps his footing with the flag thrown. And he staggers down near the 40. We'll mark him out at the 38-yard line with a run of 23, but it may be a hold. It is.
Offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Urbic. So that penalty will wipe out a gain on the play of 25.
Just keep an eye on those two. You look at the left guard, Urbic. He's trying to block Knight, and then he just grabs him and pulls him down. Negates another big run by Fred Jackson.
Remember, they had a interception return of 60 yards by Corey Graham back in the first half. That was wiped out by a penalty. So they've had some costly penalties today, obviously. Bryce Brown is in the backfield. It is 1st and 20. C.J. Spiller, a guy who still marked this offense, out with a collar ball, but practicing now. Intercepted. It's picked off by Brandon Marshall. What a grab in front of the tight end, Scott Chandler, near the 34. Orton throws the pick. It's another turnover, and the second for Buffalo today.
Well, the tight end's just going to run a little Hank route, but keep an eye on Marshall. He watches the quarterback the whole way. We always use the expression, if you wait, you're late. He takes the extra hits and allows Marshall to get right underneath the hook route.
First interception this season for the linebacker. Orton throws the pick right there. Kyle has now thrown 6 on the season. They were going for the tight end, and look where Denver starts. As you watch it, just slipped right in front of him.
Indecision. He just waited too long to throw the ball to the tight end. He had Chandler open early.
Juwan Thompson is the running back from the 33, 1st and 10. Outside, Demarius Thomas looking for blocks. Flag is thrown. Clady among a couple up there, leading the way. Darius makes the stop at the 20, pickup of 13. But the flag thrown with our first-year referee, Ron Torbert.
Pass interference. Offense, number 83, blocking downfield. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That's the 4th Denver penalty in which they've all been on the offense today.
Well, then get Welker for blocking down the field early there. You see the left guard and left tackle out in front. They'll let you go for a yard, but you start getting 3-4 yards down the field, they're calling that. Defensive coordinators have done a great job pointing that out to these officials.
We have an injured player. You take a look at Orlando Franklin, the left guard. Our clock at 10:03 in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Honda, where you can get great deals during Happy Honda Days. And by FedEx One Rate, simple flat rate shipping with the reliability of FedEx.
West of Denver, you can drive and see the grave of Buffalo Bill Cody. Franklin is out. New guard, Ben Garland. 1st and 20. After the interception of Kyle Orton. Manning, low, uncatchable. He was covered. Graham providing it on Demarius Thomas to Stacey Dales.
Well, Kevin, you guys see Juwan Thompson in there at running back for the Broncos right now. We've watched C.J. Anderson come off the field, hobbled on a couple of occasions, but I'm told there is no significant injury. He will return and good to go with the Broncos.
And you might as well, thank you, Stacey, might as well build your depth at that position with Ball and Hillman still out.
Yeah, they've got so much talent there. If they have to, they'll do this. They'll just get an empty backfield and let Peyton Manning do his thing.
They need the 23. 2nd down and 20 for Manning. Welker, just snares that out of the air. Picked up by Brown, knocked down by Bradham. He's down to the 35 and picking up 8.
And one of the reasons he snares that out of the air, Kevin, he knows what's in front of him. He's going to get hit. Wes Welker's got hit. Just watch. He knows. He's whoop. If you're not a big guy like Wes Welker, I mean, you look at a guy that he's got courage. He's 5'9", 185 pounds, and he makes a living in the middle of the field against those big linebackers and safeties.
3rd down and 12, undrafted Wes Welker, who's got the most catches ever for a player undrafted in the NFL. 3rd and 12. They need the 23. Manning, and that's picked off. Gilmore gets it. He's got Graham ahead. He's got room to roam. Blockers ahead. Jackson and others downfield trying to get him, and down he goes, out of bounds. Manning, there's a flag thrown at the 36. The pickoff was snagged by Stephon Gilmore, his third pick of the year. This would be the third turnover, if it stands, by Denver today. And Manning's second pick.
After the interception and during the return, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 20 of the intercepting team.
Graham.
15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Buffalo keeps the ball. First down.
So they have the long return there. And they had Graham pick off one. He returned at 60, and there was a penalty on the return there by the Bills. But they get the ball back and stop Manning and the Broncos. Manning has been picked off twice today. Graham returned at 60. Gilmore returned 148. Both of those returns wiped out because of penalties during the return. Taking away what would have been great field position at the 38 at Denver. Here's a 1st and 10. Watkins catches a laser. Brought down near the 40, grabbed by Talib and picks up on the play. 14, put him at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 Buffalo.
And watch him get off the line. He's decisive. They talked to him all week about eliminating those short, choppy steps and just using your speed. That's the thing that Sammy Watkins has going for him, and those big biceps. Use those hands and that speed at the line of scrimmage to create some separation.
Rich, that's the first time he's had the ball since he coughed it up in the first drive. Here is a Bryce Brown shuffle pass, and he's brought down on the play by Wolf. He picks up 4. He's up to the Buffalo 44.
I think once you cross midfield here, Kevin, you're really, I think, in 4-down territory. I think Buffalo's got to be aggressive. Coach told us last night, he said, we've got to gain possessions. We need to be able to change field position. We've got to be able to take advantage of some turnovers.
5 in the secondary. Jackson is in. 2nd down and 6. They go outside, and this is caught by Hogan, who is grabbed out there by David Bruton Jr., who's a terrific special teams ace, seeing a lot of time in the secondary. It is a meager gain of a yard to the 45.
You know, at some point, you've got to test these corners of the Broncos, and you can't give Chris Harris and Aqib Talib and Bradley Roby a free pass. You got to make them play, and Buffalo has not done that. You've got speed out there on the perimeter. You've got guys like Robert Woods, Sammy Watkins that can really run. You've got to give them a chance against these corners.
Buffalo 3 of 7 on 3rd downs, as you see. They're number 26 in the NFL on 3rd down conversions. 3rd and 5.
Comes pressure.
Orton, he's got him, the tight end. That's Chandler across the middle and brought down by Bruton. Also hit on the play by Roby. He works his way to the 47-yard line. Pickup of 8 and a Buffalo 1st down.
That's why I always like big tight ends, guys that are 6'7", 250 pounds that can run. Even when you're in position, you look at the safety, he's in position, but it's his heart. He's got those long arms, he's got that big body. Very difficult for Bruton to get his hands in there.
It's a base defense for Denver and a 1st and 10 for Buffalo. Henderson the block at the right tackle. Jackson tries to slip away and can't because there was some nice coverage there by the rookie Bradley Roby. There's a flag thrown. It's a loss of a yard. They're back to the 48. Trying to get the running game going today at times for Buffalo, now playing from behind.
Holding the pass had already been thrown. It's 2nd down.
Now you're playing down from a 21-3 deficit. Tomorrow on CBS, the wait is over. Mike and Molly are back. Don't miss the season premiere tomorrow after 2 Broke Girls right here on CBS. Back to the 49-yard line. 2nd down and 11. Hogan in the slot, Jackson in the backfield. This is Fred Jackson. With a nice spin move, he works his way into the defensive back, Chris Harris. Another flag is thrown on that 2nd and 11. He was down about the 47-yard line.
Give me left tackle here.
There is no play prior to the snap. Ball start. Left offensive tackle, 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Rich, we knew these 2 tackles of Buffalo had their hands full with Ware on one side and Von Miller on the other.
But they have to really play well up front, Kevin, especially the two tackles, Glenn and Henderson. You know you're going to have your hands full with guys like Miller and Ware. Most part, they've done a nice job making them run the hump.
You're right. Second down, 16. Orton knocked away. Loose. It's incomplete. I don't know if Marvin Austin Jr. on that line, by flailing his arms, may have deflected that ball. It'll bring up, nonetheless, 3rd and 16 for Buffalo.
Well, I think McCray gets a hand on it as well. You'll see him here. He gets the,
you're right.
He gets the right hand on it, but Austin was coming in as well.
Get those hands up. Bryce Brown has come in. 3rd and 16. The Bills need the 38 of the Denver Broncos. Here comes Ware. Orton moves up. Going deep. He's got Watkins. What a catch. Working on the rookie Roby. And he backpedals down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line of the Denver Broncos. A catch of 37. 1st and 10, Buffalo. Big-time throw, big-time catch.
Really nice job by Orton avoiding the pressure. He knows he has to step up from where he's able to reset his feet and make a very good, accurate throw down the field. You've got to give Sammy Watkins a chance against this secondary.
You thought the only way Buffalo was going to really do something if they got Watkins going.
Yeah, he's your best, most physical player at that position.
Watkins has got 2 passes on this drive, of 14 and right there, a 37. Henderson the block at the right tackle. This is Orton, and intercepted. It's picked up by Chris Harris, the top-rated cornerback in pro football. Dancing with Bryce Brown, out of bounds at about the 41. Harris has come up with his 3rd interception of the season. It's another turnover for the Buffalo Bills, and Chris Harris naps it.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chase Freedom. Get your cash back and activate bonus cash back today. And by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
It's that time of year. Orton was just picked off. And for the Denver Broncos, their first red zone takeaway in 17 games.
Omaha! Steer!
C.J. Anderson to the backfield.
Omaha!
With the 1st and 10 handoff wrapped up by Kyle Williams at the line. No gain. 2nd down and 10. Let's go back to the interception by Chris Harris.
Well, they're running double posts. They've got the tight end inside to try and hold the safety, but keep an eye on Chris Harris. He almost runs the route for Robert Woods. Watch him just slip inside there right at the end of the route. And great anticipation by the veteran corner.
Chris Harris from Kansas. 2nd down and 10.
Hot! Blue 20!
Wide receiver screen, blocked by Thomas, catch by Emmanuel Sanders, and brought down by Corey Graham. Close to a 1st down. We'll say it's the 49. He picks up 9, bringing up 3rd and 1 for Manning and the Bronco offense, and you can see he has been untouched.
Well, he talked all week about slowing down and really controlling this Buffalo defensive line. Look at that. He's dropped back 16 times. I mean, he hasn't been touched. He's getting the ball out quick, and they've done a good job mixing in the run. Really forcing this Buffalo defensive line, to be honest.
And I don't know if there's a better defensive line in football.
No, they're terrific. I mean, the defensive line alone has accounted for 36.5 of their league-high 48 sacks.
It's Anderson on 3rd and 1. Into the grasp, and down he goes. Williams there, and also a hit on the play by Manny Lawson. Give him a gain of about 2. Let's take a look at Jim Schwartz. You know, I was just thinking about Manning, and we're right now fairly deep in this 3rd quarter with the player down. Manning has a streak of 51 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. If he gets one today, he'll tie Brady at 52, the all-time record 54 by Breeze. I know.
Trust me, when they get down to the red zone the next time, they'll be throwing the football.
These guys, as much as they may not say it, you used to, right? You kept track. You knew this stuff.
Listen, he's
Come
aware.
on, you know.
He's aware, but But look at C.J. Anderson, Kevin, as he's hobbling off with that left ankle.
They may have to shut him down. This is the third, fourth time that he's hobbled off the field.
I think that would make some sense. You know, you think about Peyton Manning, he's the most difficult quarterback to sack. You know, if you make a mistake, he's going to make you pay for it. He never really is without answers. I think Jim Schwartz really summed it up last night. You know, greater emphasis today is on execution from all 11 players because regardless of what defense we call, Peyton Manning has answers.
Thompson is in. It is a 1st and 10 handoff. He gets a block on the play by Green. And the tight end with the block opens the door. Duke Williams brings him down at the 35-yard line of Buffalo. It is a 14-yard run with some nice blocking ahead for Juwan Thompson.
Yeah, this offensive line, Kevin, you were talking so much about C.J. Anderson. And John Fox said, I think you could throw any back in there and you'd have the same type of success. I mean, they're really excited about Juwan Thompson. But I think when they made those changes up front, when they put Will Montgomery in there at center, they bounced Manny Ramirez from center to guard, and then, of course, Luis Vasquez from guard to tackle. And I think you look at their ability to utilize Virgil Green, Paul Kornick.
Kornick is in right now. Wide receiver screen. Thomas the block for Sanders, who's then grabbed across the way by Aaron Williams on a gain of 5 to the 31. Some delinquent housekeeping here. Back in Orlando Franklin at the left guard. Now they've got a player down, and this is Luis Vasquez, and he is down about the 37-yard line, catching his breath.
He has really played well, not just against the pass. We talked about their running game, and that one personnel group, Kevin, with Virgil Green and Paul Kornick has made a world of difference in the running game.
There's their converted right tackle. Really makes his bones at the guard. That's Vasquez. So what they've done is they've taken Orlando Franklin, move him to the right tackle, and they bring back in Ben Garland to play where Franklin was at left guard. 2nd down and 5. Anderson is out. Juwan Thompson is the running back. And he gets the call at 2nd and 5. Chased down nicely that time by the hustling Mario Williams. They throw him for a 2-yard loss back to the 33.
I think Denver's as good as any team in football at making adjustments in game. Saw the shuffle up the offensive line. You got the backs in terms of how they utilize the different backs. They'll do things, Kevin, they haven't even practiced during the week. That's the confidence that they have with this group.
Well, and as you say, Manning always has answers for whatever he sees or for whatever he needs to do.
Yeah, and he's got confidence in the group around him. You know, nobody wants to let down Peyton Manning. It studies hard to make sure that, and they're interchangeable. You can put these receivers in different positions. Everybody understands concepts in this offense.
3rd and 7, they throw it in the dirt that time. There was coverage. You know who blew that up was Preston Brown. He was holding off the block. He was right near the intended receiver, who is Thompson. Brown, who has been a terrific player, the leading tackler, rookie out of Louisville, comes up and makes that play.
Yeah, he's having a terrific season, Kevin. Leads the team in tackles with 89. In there to stop the run. He's got good instincts and reactions in the middle of that defense. He's getting better against the pass.
This is Connor Barth, who is going to try a field goal. It'll be a 50-yarder. He had the 5 in Kansas City on a chilly night last week from 50 yards. The hold from Colquitt. And it is good. Drilling it from 50. Coming off an Achilles tear a season ago, which forced Tampa Bay to cut him. When McManus struggled here, they signed this kid off the street. He's now gone 6 of 6 for the Broncos. We are late in the 3rd. Week 14 continues with Sunday Night Football tonight at 8:30. A good one, the Patriots down in San Diego. That's on NBC. Tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Falcons and Packers. Dan Fouts and I will be on Westwood One Radio tomorrow night at Lambeau for that game with 2 first-place teams, at least coming into the weekend. Atlanta. Now, New Orleans lost today, so Atlanta
that NFC South is a
5 and
mess.
7. Unbelievable. We've had 6 total turnovers in this game, and that field goal by Barth after the McManus kickoff, that field goal by Barth of 50 is the first time either team today with all these turnovers has cashed in and gotten any points. Barth right there puts it up and through. McManus is on the kickoff team, and Here we go with our checklist and some of the things you thought were important headlines for both teams.
Yeah, we said Buffalo had avoided negative plays. Kevin had not been able to do that. The 3 turnovers. They haven't been able to get to Peyton Manning. You look at the balance that Denver has had offensively, and of course we talked about the key, getting to Kyle Orton. They've got him on the ground 3 times already.
With the last 2 interceptions and the last 2 possessions, it's 1st and 10 Watkins. Nice catch brought down by Roby. He's up to the 28. And it's an 8-yard pickup. Let's take you to New York and James Brown.
Kevin, Drew Stanton stepping up.
Yeah, after an Alex Smith interception, Drew Stanton finds Jerron Brown 26 yards out down the seam. They take the lead over Kansas City 17-14.
Back to Kevin Harlan.
What a great game. 2nd and 2 right here, Fred Jackson. Gets some room moving up the middle. He's up to the 32-yard line, hit by a couple, including Brandon Marshall out of Nevada. It is a gain of 3, and that should be the final play, or close to it. Let's see what Buffalo does here as the 3rd quarter clock continues to wind down.
Well, they'll get another one off.
There's no wind, so it doesn't really matter, I guess, from that standpoint, if you're trying to catch the last breath of wind. 1st down and 10. Glenn with a nice block at the left tackle. They go outside to Woods, who's brought down once again by the rookie Roby. It is a gain of 8. He's up to the 38. That takes us to the end of the 3rd. Manning and the Broncos on top. Each team has turned it over 3 times today. Manning picked off twice. He has not thrown a touchdown pass. Talking there with his offensive coordinator, Adam Gase. Starting the 4th, 2nd and 3, Orton. Underneath, Jackson. Redwell, down he goes. Brandon Marshall is there. And it is a gain of 2 up to the 40-yard line to Stacey Dales.
You know, Kevin, John Fox told us this team, he believes, is a better team this season than last year, and you have to really look at this defense. We talk about Peyton Manning and the offense, but this defense, 2 picks in this game, and look at the free agent acquisitions. T.J. Ward, DeMarcus Ware, of course, Sanders on the offense, but what a job John Elway and company did in the offseason, guys.
Great report, and Jack Del Rio is their defensive coordinator.
Well, all those players, I think they realized when they went back and looked at last season, they had to get better on defense.
Woo, what a catch on 3rd and 1. He was into the 43. Watkins has been lighting it up in the 2nd half. 17-yard gain and a 1st down.
Again, a good clean release off the line of scrimmage. You see him be able to push a little bit there and create some separation right before the catch.
Roby was the guy defending. He started for the injured Talib last week at left cornerback. Talib is back today, but not in right now. And Julius Thomas was active today, but he has not played. 1st and 10. Brown in the backfield, and Bryce Brown will take it. Chased by Brandon Marshall, who's all over the joint, making the stop with the block from Hogan. And he picks up 5, and he's down to the 38-yard line.
I think there's got to be a little bit more sense of urgency from Buffalo, trailing 24-3, Kevin. It's time to go up tempo. It's time to jump the ball a little bit.
Is Orton the guy that you see could take this team to the playoffs?
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, I think he's a good decision maker for the most part, with the exception of today. I mean, he takes pretty good care of the football. They got to get better around Kyle Orton.
2nd 5, staggers free, down he goes. Chris Harris Jr. brings him down. It's a sack. He's back at the 40. It's the 4th sack by the Denver Broncos. First today by Harris. Harris with his 1st of the season.
Well, he never feels the free rusher. And again, you get Harris coming. He's got his eyes downfield. Never feels the stinger off the slot.
They lose 2 yards on the play. Back to the 39.
Yeah.
3rd down and 7. Six defensive backs for Denver. Glenn the block at the left tackle. He provides time. Chandler brought down by Harris. They get a 1st down to the Denver Bronco 25, picking up 15 yards. Orton to Chandler for a 1st.
Well, you see Chandler. He's just going to run a little out route, and he's going to run it on the safety, T.J. Ward. Sits down in the hole between Ward and Harris.
Chandler's got 4 receptions and 37 yards today. 1st and 10. Nickel secondary. Orton out of the reach of Jackson on the cross, and he was covered on the play by T.J. Ward. Seattle and Philly. Let's go to James Brown in New York.
Seattle's D gets offensive help.
Yeah, off a LaShawn McCoy fumble. Here Russell Wilson throw back to Marshawn Lynch from 15 yards out. They take a lead of 17-7. That Seattle D holding a high-powered Philadelphia offense to just a total of 66 yards early in the third quarter.
Wow. Back to Kevin Harlan.
Seattle getting guys healthy, Rich, and Lynch, who was rested in the first half of the season, much more prominent in the second half for the Seahawks.
Seattle has played much better since their bye, Kevin. I think they're going to win that division.
2nd and 10. Watkins, look what I found. There he goes. And banged at about the 5-yard line by Raheem Moore and others. Also hit by Marshall. Great run after the catch as he reels it in. A 20-yard pickup, and it's 1st and goal, Buffalo.
This one surprises Sammy Watkins. I mean, you talk about great concentration. Not a lot of guys can make this catch. He never sees it coming through the traffic.
This is the Watkins everybody saw the first 2 months.
Well, he's so big and strong and terrific after the catch. That was the problem in the first half. They couldn't find a way to get him the ball.
He's had a bit of a hip issue. 1st and goal at the 4. Deepest penetration today by Buffalo. Jackson. Orton. Thrown behind his intended receiver, Marquise Goodwin.
Well, he just misses the throw there. 4-down territory for Buffalo. 1st down to take a shot to Goodwin. And look, the reason he probably misses there, he's trying to squeeze it between the corner and the safety. Trying to slow him up in the hole.
It's a lot of moving parts when you're a quarterback down there. A lot of things to absorb, take in, set protections.
And things happen quicker in this part of the field. That secondary, they don't have as much ground to cover. They're going to jump some of these routes. Just tell the receivers, get your head around this part of the field.
2nd down, goal at the 4. Glenn pushes out Ware, knocked away beautifully on the play by T.J. Ward. They were going for Jackson at the 5. This Ward has been sensational, the former Brown and a Pro Bowler a season ago.
Hey, look at Fred Jackson. He's going to he's going to start the angle route, and he's going to come right back outside. And T.J. Ward, he reads it the whole way. Ward has played well, Kevin. He's a guy that in their nickel will play that linebacker spot down around the line of scrimmage.
Del Rio told us on Friday, playing as well as he's ever played in the NFL, now in his 5th year. Orton has hit all 9 of his 3rd down passes today. 3rd and goal at the 4. Orton got away from Jackson. Low and maybe picked off by Bruton. Flags are thrown. They're waving Bruton. This is going to be the other way. The officials are watching. Another flag has been thrown, and he may take it the distance if they rule it. And they call it a touchdown. Oh my goodness. Everyone stood and watched except David Bruton.
I think it bounced.
If indeed,
I think
he was able to scoop it up, but they did not blow the whistle.
Well, this one was definitely a one-hopper. Just watch this. Orton's trying to find his tight end, and this thing hits the ground first.
Did.
That's why everybody stood around.
Well, the officials followed him the entire way.
Not a very good throw by Orton on the move.
A couple flags, one at the 4, one at the 13.
Well, when the officials aren't sure, they're going to let the play out.
Let the play go. And so you know what they say as a broadcaster? Call it as if it's live.
And that's what you did!
You never know.
And there he goes!
Well, I didn't get that. But you never know. Well, listen, last week in Buffalo, Jerry Hughes,
that's right.
Same kind of play. Everyone stood and watched. Hughes picked up a ball after a hit and raced it back 18 for a fumble recovery touchdown.
And this is not one of Kyle Orton's strengths, Kevin. Throwing the ball on the move outside the pocket. He's a pure pocket passer.
With the naked eye, you couldn't tell.
Ruling on the field is an interception returned for a touchdown. There are 2 fouls on the play, one by each team. Holding, number 79 offense before the interception. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 98 defense during the return. By rule, the holding foul is declined. Will enforce the unnecessary roughness from the spot of the foul. Denver's ball, 1st down.
Well, they've called it an interception, but we're going to see, and we've seen a couple times already, clearly hitting the turf.
You would think someone on his crew would have said, give him a heads up. But they see they got all these big monitors and screens here in the stadium.
Gosh, if only we had Mike Carey. If we had him right here in the booth, he could help us. I can see him in my monitor. We'll get to him in a second. Oh, Michael, but we can see, even without the expertise of Mike Carey, that it hit the ground. But there are a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts down deep, and we'll step aside. 10:41 in the fourth. Mike Carey is with us from New York. He's watched the play. Mike, give us your interpretation here.
Well, my interpretation is that there he goes with an incomplete pass, right? The ball hits the ground, that's incomplete. We do have 2 penalties that have to be contended with, though. Since it was incomplete, that ball is on the previous play. So both of those fouls will offset at the previous spot, and they'll replay the down.
Terrific. But it was interesting watching the officials run with the player. The others stand and watch. At flags, it was a lot of things going on. So Buffalo, let's first of all get our announcement and take things one at a time from Ron Torbert.
After review, the ball hit the ground before it was intercepted. It's an incomplete pass. We will enforce the hold by 79 of the offense, the personal foul and necessary roughness by number 98 of the defense. We will offset those fouls. It'll be 3rd and goal at the 4-yard line. Please reset the game.
And it was just the exact opposite.
56 seconds.
Had it been an interception.
Absolutely. Another opportunity here for Kyle Orton and the Bills offense. If you're Kyle Orton, you got to be thinking 4-down territory. I got 2 shots here from about the 5-yard line.
Well, and they just dodged their second red zone turnover of the game. Let's see what they do here. It's 3rd and goal at the Denver 4.
Well, you've got a tight end who's 6'7", and you've got a receiver in Sammy Watkins, Kevin, that can go get the football if he gets one-on-one coverage. And a bunch set here down at the bottom of your screen.
With Hogan, Woods, and Watkins. Orton. Touchdown! He got him. That big tight end that we're just talking about, Scott Chandler. 4-yard touchdown pass. No, there is yellow. It's against Buffalo. It was a late flag.
All right. Pass interference. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Chandler, the guy that just caught the pass.
Well, just keep an eye on the tight end. Right at the top of the route, he's going to extend his hands. He creates a little bit of separation. You can see right there, Roby complaining about it.
Flag was a bit late, but thrown nonetheless. Back at the 14-yard line, where Kyle Orton has 3rd and goal at the 14.
Buffalo keeps shooting themselves in the foot.
Blocked by Jackson. Hogan's got the ball. 2 defenders fall, and he goes in. Talib fell, and they had another one fall near the goal line. But Talib had the clear shot, but he fell, and the Buffalo Bills get a 14-yard red zone touchdown pass. Kyle Orton, and Chris Hogan has caught his 2nd consecutive touchdown pass. Got a 1-yarder last week and a 14-yarder here.
Well, they bring the pressure, and the defender that was covering Woods, he actually falls off and allows Chris Hogan to run free.
With the extra point from Carpenter. 10:46. Buffalo with the long drive. Talib slipping, and Hogan coming up with his 4th touchdown reception. Nice catch, too.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Amazon's new Fire HD. Powerful tablet, endless entertainment. Fruit of the Loom. Start happy this holiday. And by the Dodge Brothers. 100 years later, their spirit lives on.
Coming up after the game here in Denver, time permitting, the Subway postgame show. JB, Tony, Bart, Coach and Boomer Esiason for all the NFL scores, news, highlights. It's the Subway postgame show from our CBS studios in New York. Here's a Jordan Gay kickoff for the Buffalo Bills. Now have come to within 2 touchdowns of Denver. That one bounces and is finally retrieved on the play by Omar Bolden. And then he was brought down and hit on the play for Buffalo by special teamer Ty Powell on a 23-yard return.
Well, let's keep an eye on Aqib Talib. He's got to stay outside. What happens is he gets forced inside because he sees Watkins, and he runs into Watkins. He should stay outside. That allows Hogan to outflank the secondary.
And then Watkins also got a shot on Chris Harris Jr. in the end zone. So he knocked down he had 2.
He's doing his part.
I know he is.
It's a big score for Buffalo to get back in this game.
It's a little wide receiver screen, and it goes to the receiver Sanders. Another block there by Thomas and a gain of 5. Denver has done all their scoring today on the ground. 3 rushing touchdowns by C.J. Anderson. 51 consecutive games Manning has gone with a touchdown pass.
Kevin, they're out of sorts when you look at them in the passing game right now. You know, Peyton's thrown a couple interceptions. They're struggling getting the ball down the field to Sanders and to Thomas. Demaryius Thomas with just 2 catches for 11 yards. Got to give some credit to the Buffalo secondary. They have played well, but they look out of sorts right now with their timing and rhythm in the passing game.
C.J. Anderson is in. He gets the call right here, and he's brought down on that 2nd down and 5. He was hit hard on the play. Brandon Spikes, very good against the run from the linebacking core of Buffalo. No gain on the play. They stay at the 30.
But I really like this Buffalo defense. I mean,
I do too. I like Denver's defense as well.
Well, I know. I mean,
I like them both.
You look at this improvement on defense for Buffalo, and it didn't happen overnight. Started last year with Mike Peyton, finished 2nd in the league with 57 sacks and 23 interceptions. But they picked up right where they left off a season ago with Jim Schwartz.
Manning 3rd and 5. C.J. Anderson. And he was brought down by Spikes, but not after getting the first down. Also slipped the grabs of Darius. It's a gain of 6. They get the first down up to the 36-yard line.
Well, they're playing 2 deep man-to-man coverage, and Peyton Manning sees it. And audibles to the run on 3rd and 5.
More yards on the ground for C.J. Anderson. 16 carries, 49 yards. We mentioned this earlier in the game. Denoris Searcy out with an injury. He's got a hamstring. So they're putting Duke Williams back there in one of the safety slots. It is 1st and 10. Manning at his 36. Anderson looking for a block. And he was struck on the play by Preston Brown. Flag is thrown. He's up to the 39-yard line and a gain of 4.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
A good one in Philadelphia. The defending champs are in Pennsylvania to James Brown in New York.
And the defending champions answer back.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, his 2nd touchdown pass on the day. This one to Doug Baldwin. He also has one running as they now take a 24-14 lead over Philadelphia.
Kevin, Rich, and Stacy.
Good game there.
There's another head coach in Pete Carroll going against one of his former quarterbacks,
How about
Mark
that?
Sanchez.
Yes, exactly.
I think familiarity, and we mentioned John Fox.
That's a good
his
point, Rich.
familiarity with Kyle Orton. I think it's important, Kevin, as you put your game plan together.
It's 1st and 20. Manning to C.J. Anderson. Got a nice block by Virgil Green, the tight end. He sealed it off. They get to the 35. And he picks up 10 on the play. You know, these quarterbacks, these head coaches, they study the coordinator or they know former players so well. They keep books on these guys.
Yeah, they do, and they go back and they look at them.
And Manning does a lot of that, doesn't he?
You know, they have these journals, and they go back and they dig. Just looking for any little thing that can help them.
2nd down and 10.
Omaha! Which one? Which one? You want mine, right? Which one? Omaha!
C.J. Anderson. And hit by Spikes and others as he gets a loss of a yard back inside the 35.
Buffalo's daring them to run the football.
Sure
now.
are, yeah. The run defense of the Bills coming into today, number 7.
Look at Jawan Thompson. You get him back on the field, Kevin. He had just 4 carries, 63 yards. Of course, he had the big one.
Thompson had a run of 47 yards right after halftime. 3rd and 11 for Manning. They need the 46. 5 defensive backs for the Bills. Wide open Welker. Brad holding on. Nice tackle made by Bradham. He picks up 5. He gets as far as the 39. He'll be 6 yards shy of a first, and Denver has got to punt.
That was a really nice tackle by Bradham. He's actually covering the back. He's actually covering C.J. Anderson out of the backfield, out of the corner of his eyes. He came off on Wes Welker.
Buffalo just taking a timeout, Rich. They're going to get the ball back. They're down by 2 touchdowns and 6.5 to go. The Bills with 2 timeouts, and Denver has their full allotment, 3.
Well, they need something good to happen in the kicking game.
One thing that has helped the Bills when they get the ball back is Orton finding Watkins. Watkins has put his fingerprints on the second half.
Yeah, they got Watkins going a little bit. 6 catches, 108 yards. Most of them, Kevin, coming in the second half, a long of 35.
Brewer will be the long snapper, and Britton Colquitt will punt. In the thin air, gets this baby high. Thigpen waving it off.
Oh, man, that was a mistake. You got to field that.
The hang time was 5-1.
He let it go right over his head.
And with that hang time, it allowed those guys to get in there. Nice punt. A 53-yarder. And a mistake by Thigpen. Orton comes out for the Bills, who trail by 14. The Broncos just punted after 6 plays. The ball rolled down to the 8-yard line. Here comes Orton with the 1st and 10. Movement, flags, false start.
Can't have it.
Nope.
False start. Offense, number 77. Half the distance to the goal. It's still first down.
Starter Cordy Glenn coming up after the game, time permitting. The Subway postgame show. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all there with scores, news, and highlights of an important beginning weekend in December. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show from New York. 1st and 14.
That's a noisy end zone to come out of.
6 defensive backs for Denver. Orton over Hogan's head. Defended on the play by Bradley Roby. Now 2nd down and 14 for the 7-5 Buffalo Bills. 2 consecutive wins coming in. Denver comes in first place, tied with New England atop the AFC, leading the West. 9-3 their record. Winning at Kansas City last Sunday. They've won 2 consecutive games. 2nd and 14.
And you got to get half of it back here.
Still the dime. Jackson a block, buying time for Orton. And almost picked off. That was close on the play. Almost snared by Brandon Marshall. 3rd and 14. They were looking for Watkins.
Well, he never feels Marshall as he skates to his right. Marshall's been all over the field today. Marshall's going to come all the way from the backside of the screen. He's trying to fit this one down the middle of the field to Watkins. Late down the middle will get you in trouble.
Rich, one thing that Orton has done well, 3rd down passing. He is 10 for 10 on 3rd down passing today.
7 of them have gone for first downs.
Oof. He needs the 18. Moving up nicely, hitting Jackson, dancing with Moore, down by Talib, and also hit by the ubiquitous Brandon Marshall. He's up to the 16.
The ball.
He picks up 12. They're close, but they got a punt. They needed the 18. They got to the 16.
And it's just, you're just too deep in your own territory. With the way your defense is playing, Kevin, you hope you get a 3 and out and get the ball back. They still have got 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. But down by 2 scores. And they really needed a first down there.
Welker's at the 40, no wind. Colton Schmidt the punt. Another poor long snap by Sanborn. The hang is there, and it's out of bounds, and it's going to be walked off by the official. Hang time was under 5 seconds. And they're going to spot the ball at the Denver 44. 40-yard punt. Here comes Peyton.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Macy's. And by Subway Restaurants. Subway is saying thanks this season with $2 subs.
Sparkling Denver. Well, here comes Manning, leading by 2 touchdowns. He's at his own 44 after that 3-and-out by Buffalo with a 1st and 10. C.J. Anderson trying to dance. Kyle Williams was there. Darius was there. No gain on the play. How about the running today of this Denver team?
No one's been better, Kevin, over the last 3 or 4 weeks than C.J. Anderson. 3 touchdowns today. Runs with great power. Very decisive up inside. Of course, when he needs a blow, you bring in a rookie free agent, Juwan Thompson. He goes 47 yards. They get more out of undrafted players at that position than any team in the history of football.
And they're smart, too. One guy went to Cal. That guy went to Duke.
You got to be smart to play in this offense. You know, Adam Gase talks about it all the time. You got a bunch of smart guys that can handle volume and change from week to week.
2nd down and 10. Bills have 1 timeout. They just took one. Denver with all 3.
No, they're not going to let him run the football. Look, you got all these guys up around the line of scrimmage.
These 2. Omaha.
With a 2nd and 10.
1 short.
Nice play. They'll call another timeout. That's Jerry Hughes who comes by. And a timeout taken by Marone. That's his final one. They lose 6 on the play. Back to the 38. The sub-story here, as we've talked about, as we take a look at Hughes make this nice play. Had a nice game last week against Cleveland with 3 tackles. Quarterback hurry, forced fumble return for a touchdown. But Manning has gone 51 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. And as we all know, it's the 3rd longest in back of Brady, who's got 52 consecutive games. That streak is over. And the all-time record, 54 by Drew Brees. That streak is over. So this is the longest active streak. Manning holds it, and we know he is aware of things like that.
Does it really make a difference, though? I mean, he's the NFL's active leader in nearly every major passing category.
Well said. You're right. You're right.
I don't think he really cares at this point. His credit, he's all about winning football games.
But he is aware.
Oh, I think he is.
3rd
he won't tell you that, but I think he is.
well, you know him. You went to Pro Bowl together with him for 3-4 years in a row.
Reno, arrow!
Play clock at 6.
Super! Omaha!
They shift into the pistol. They give it to Anderson. And he drags a defender, and he runs it with a gain of 5. And he'll be shy of the 1st, obviously. It's 4th and 10. The punt team comes on. It's a 3-and-out for Denver. And Buffalo will get it back. You know, it speaks a lot, too, of Manning and where he is, where his mind is at, too, Rich. Not thinking about himself. Not that he would, but it is a pretty interesting number. But thinking, like, let's just get the win.
Well, I also think, Kevin, you got a 38-year-old quarterback. He got knocked around a lot in that game against St. Louis. And I think that caused the Bronco coaching staff to go back and look at it. Remember when John Elway won those Super Bowls here in Denver at the end of his career? Back-to-back Super Bowls. He did it by running the football.
Colquitt is sending it to Thigpen, who waves off everybody. And it takes a bounce, it looked like, for Buffalo, then goes back. The hang time was over 5 seconds, exactly what you want. In fact, they'll take anything over 4.5. 46-yard punt. The Niners, the Raiders, let's go to James Brown.
Oakland just trying to win, baby.
Yeah, Derek Carr's 3rd touchdown pass of the day. This one to Michael Rivera, who has over 100 yards receiving. And the Oakland Raiders are up over San Francisco 24-13.
Kevin, Rich, and Stacy.
You and I know more guys in this league that really talk about this rookie quarterback for the Raiders.
I like Derek Carr. A lot of rumors, speculation this week, Kevin, in the Bay Area about maybe Jim Harbaugh winding up in Oakland as a new head coach.
1st and 10. This is Hogan. Gets by Harris, chased by Ward, who finally brings him down at the 20. He'll be close to a 1st down. Buffalo is out of timeouts. You see where the clock is. Ticking here in the 4th and needing 2 touchdowns. They do give him a gain of 10 and a 1st down.
And they really had, you look at teams in 2-minute situations, there's got to be a sense of urgency. The receiver's got to sprint to position. Lineman got to jump the ball. Can't get enough plays called in this situation.
It is a 1st and 10. Looking for Watkins. Running out of real estate, Talib was watching him, coming over as well in the secondary for the Denver Broncos, David Bruton Jr. 2nd down and 10.
Look at that quickness from now. You got to change lanes. You got to try and stay on the field. But the problem is you've got that safety coming hard over the top.
Is it more difficult for young receivers to go against man or zone? What do they look at when they see the other side?
Well, I think they see a lot more zone off coverage in college. In the NFL, no one wants to give you those free access throws. I think when you look at young receivers, it's not always the way it was scripted or drawn up in practice. And I think that's one of the issues that they've had with Sammy Watkins. You can't show him every possible look in practice.
Glenn with the block on 2nd and 10. They go underneath, and this is Jackson, who is twirled around and finally leveled by Wolf and others. Also at the bottom of the pile was Marshall. It's a gain of 8. Flag is thrown. The gain was up to the 28-yard line.
It's been a sloppy game, Kevin, with the penalties. It's like 15 penalties between the two teams already today.
7-5 Buffalo, 9-3 Denver. This has been quite a year for the Buffalo Bills, hasn't it? A new owner, they're staying in Buffalo. You're seeing the health return for Jim Kelly. You see this team with Doug Marrone, finding their way and showing a lot of promise, and there's a lot of optimism in one of the great NFL cities in America.
After the play was over, dead ball, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 79. It's a 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. The down counts. It's 3rd down.
Denver native Eric Pierce, a guard for Buffalo.
Yeah, he's just going to come in late. Oh, he comes in late here to the left. Oh, right there, yep.
Pierce, nice move by Harris. Pierce played 3 years for these Broncos. He was here from 06 through 08. JFK High School here in Denver, 2-time All-State performer. 3rd down, 16. Kyle Orton playing his old team today. But in 2011, beaten out by Tebow, who took over, and then he was let go and went to Kansas City. 3rd and 16 for Orton. They need the 30. With the incomplete pass, Jackson was in his sights.
The difference today for Buffalo in the passing game, they've not been able to win consistently enough against man-to-man coverage.
And you were just talking about that with these receivers.
And they have seen a ton of it today against this Denver secondary.
Well,
these corners have challenged these receivers.
Yeah, and they do, and that's part of the difference why this defense is better for Denver this year.
Well, they're a lot better, Kevin. I think it starts with the personnel. I mean, it's one thing to have Von Miller. It's another thing to have DeMarcus Ware on the other side. You can't always set your protection. You can't always turn the line one way. So now they've got balance with their pass rush. They've got some corners. When you look at Talib and Roby.
4th and 16. They need the 30. They got Watkins, and he swirls for the 1st down. Terrific catch. Great throw. Brought down by Raheem Moore. Picks up 20 on 4th and 16. A 1st down for Buffalo.
Well, the one thing about this team is they're resilient, the Buffalo Bills. And the quarterback, Kyle Orton, he's a great competitor. He will never quit.
What a great sign for Watkins. Over 100 yards today. 1st and 10 for Orton. Little outlet, and it's caught there by Jackson, getting out of bounds. Stop the clock, and with no timeouts, that's huge. The tackle made by Roby. He gets 2. So Watkins, who has been staggering a bit in a very quiet last month, is big, especially in the second half, with 7 receptions, 127 yards.
Yeah, he's starting to come on.
That is a good sign.
He's just sucking for air right now, this altitude. The rookie's figuring out how to do it.
Clemson's all-time receiver, one of the top in the history of the ACC, Clemson. 2nd down and 8.
You need to get him back on the field quickly.
For Goodwin. A little high and incomplete. Got a couple over there watching him. Roby along with Raheem Moore. It's now 3rd and 8.
And this is where you got to take some chances, Kevin. You got to take some shots, and that's what Kyle Orton's trying to do. You get double coverage. You're trying to fit one in between the corner and the safety. These are difficult throws as you see Watkins come back into the huddle.
Quite a game. Again. And he has not been 100% healthy either. We know he's had some injuries, including a hip issue. 3rd and 8. 6 in the secondary for the Broncos. They need the 43. Hogan, 1st down. Talib with the stop, but let's see now. Did the forward progress get him the first? He looks like he may be shy.
Well, the one official on the other side gave it to him. The official on this side didn't.
He's short by about a yard. And look, and he dug his in. He had the yards. Talib prevents him. 4th and about a half yard, if that. Last time, terrific throw by Orton on 4th down. Got Watkins for a first. No timeouts. Chandler, first down and out of bounds. So he gets the first down. He stops the clock. Ward is right there with the stop. It's a gain of 5. They get up to the 47-yard line of the Bills. For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. We're in Denver. It's the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. Along with Rich Gannon and Stacey Dales, Kevin Harlan. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its normally scheduled time. It is a first down.
They've got to start taking some big shots down the field, Kevin. These short underneath throws aren't going to get it done.
Good time, Orton. Chandler hit by Harris. Minimal gain. And then the lunge, he gets 5. I'll take that back. He's down to about the 48-yard line of Denver. 5-yard pickup by the tight end. Chandler's had a big day, 6 catches and 47 yards. We've reached the 2-minute warning on CBS. Down by 2 touchdowns, the Bills are on the move and out of timeouts. Drive began back at the 10 for the Bills. Orton has completed 2 fourth down passes to keep the drive alive. They're out of timeouts. They have it 2nd down and 5 at the Denver 48. And looking for Chandler on the ricochet. It's incomplete. Almost grabbed by Bruton. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Well, he's got his big tight end running down the middle of the field. He gets one hand on it, can't get the other one. Would have been a terrific catch by Scott Chandler. Look at Orton, can't believe it. Got to be able, and you're seeing so much 2-deep coverage, you've got to be able to attack in the middle of the field, and you've got to be able to attack the safeties. They need more speed down the middle of the field.
Then they keep the 6 in the secondary from the 48-yard line, 3rd and 5. Chandler again, first down, hit by Bruton. He's down to the 25-yard line of the Denver Broncos. He picks up 27, and that is a first down. Flag was thrown back at the 42-yard line of Denver.
I think that may be on TJ Ward.
Five penalties on Denver today, most on their offense, 10 on the Bills so far.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Holding number 43 and holding number 21. Both penalties are declined. Result of the play is a first down.
They're 2 veterans, signature players in that secondary for Denver. Talib and Ward. So the ball remains at the 25-yard line where it is a 1st and 10. And again, you see no timeouts remaining for the Bills. 13th play of the drive. Kyle Orton.
Oops.
And Oops is right. And that would have been a pick by Bruton had his teammate Talib not collided in mid-flight. They were going for Watkins. 2nd down and 10. Talib, who is injured and had a left hamstring issue and missed some time playing today.
That's where communication's so important. It's so hard. You've got both players competing for the football. Kyle Orton doing everything he can to pump down the middle of the field to hold the safety. This is where you've got to be aggressive and take some chances.
Tony Carter has come in to take the place of Aqib Talib. It's 2nd down and 10. Let's see if Orton goes right there. Goes up the middle instead. It's caught by Chandler, grabbed by Marshall, gets his way to the 12. He picks up a first down, a gain of 13 yards on the play.
Well, they're happy to let you complete the ball underneath. You just want to defend the end zone, and Orton's got to throw the ball in the end zone. These completions underneath are just eating up too much time on the clock.
1st and 10, Orton, and looking for Hogan, covered by Harris. 2nd down and 10, just winding up a conversation on Chandler. 8 catches, 83 yards. He already has a 100-yard receiving day at the tight end position for the Buffalo Bills. That was a 105, 6 reception game against New England. The first time a Bills tight end had had 100 since Pete Metzelar's in '92. He's got 83 here this afternoon.
No, he's such a big target. You love him down this part of the field. 6'7".
He is Metzelar's size. 8 catches, a career high for Scott Chandler. 2nd down and 10. Orton underneath.
He's going to be just short.
And the dive, he will, with a catch that time was Robert Woods. Quiet today. His 3rd reception, and he picks up on the play 12. And here is Orton, 1st and goal. In he goes. Touchdown.
Well, they've got a shot, Kevin.
Well,
kick the extra point, onside kick. They're not going down easy.
So Orton converting 4th and 16 and 4th and 1 on that drive, which started back at their 10. Watkins had a 20-yard reception on 4th down, which was huge. And the tight end, Scott Chandler, with several big catches as they move the chains downfield and get the 1-yard quarterback sneak by the quarterback, Orton. Carpenter. So 24-17, the Bills get it in.
Good throws by Orton on that drive.
Orton completing today 38 passes. He's thrown it 57 times for 356 yards, Rich. That 38 completions is a career high for Kyle Orton. A Bear, a Bronco, a Chief, a Cowboy, and now a Bill.
Well, you got those special teams coaches, Jeff Rogers of the Broncos and Danny Crossman of the Bills. Broncos will have their hands team out there.
Last time the Bills had a successful onside kick was 2011.
Good look at Crossman. And they're going to put Gay out there to try the kick as opposed to Barth.
I'm anxious to find out why they're not using Carpenter. Carpenter on onside kicks 2 of 4 in his career. But it's Gay. Timeout, Denver.
Yeah, Carpenter, I'm sorry.
Carpenter's the
one that bounces him. I think he's got the one that scribbles along the ground, then pops up. Seen him do that in the past.
There have only been 6 successful onside kicks this season from tip to tail in the NFL, of which the Indianapolis Colts have 3. So Jordan Gay.
A lot of them come when you're not expecting it, not in these situations,
That's a good point, Rich.
And you got your hands team out there. Everyone's in position. Got some receivers and defensive backs and linebackers, tight ends. Guys that are used to handling the football.
Jordan Gay, not long enough.
Doesn't go 10 yards.
Does not go long enough, and recovered at the 44-yard line by Denver. Recovered on the play by their signature special teamer, David Bruton. No timeouts remain for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, you got to kick it a little firmer. It's got to get to the 45-yard line.
And they do practice that every day in practice, don't they?
Well, they sure do.
But again, I would wonder why wouldn't they use Carpenter?
You know, Kevin, I'm sure they both work on it in practice. You know, both Carpenter and Gay, and then it's probably a decision Danny Crossman makes, a special teams coach, whoever they think is doing a better job orchestrating it.
Well, Manning's last game without a touchdown pass, November 14th, 2010 with the Colts. And the streak for Peyton will stop at 51 consecutive games with a touchdown throw. One more here. It's 2nd down and 11. Let's take a look at the schedules because it's very interesting for Buffalo, who next week will go against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. They got Brady to wind up the season. Denver at San Diego, Cincinnati, and then a game here against the Oakland Raiders. And the Denver Broncos will now go to 10-3. 3rd consecutive win. They've won 4 of their last 5. The Buffalo Bills will drop to 7-6. and they lose their first in the last 3 games. So things tough, obviously, for the Bills as you take a look at the landscape of the AFC playoff picture. Pittsburgh worked their way into the equation today by beating Cincinnati. New England plays tonight. Indianapolis came from behind to win late with less than a minute to go. And Peyton Manning finishes 14 of 20, 173, picked off twice, no touchdown passes. Orton was 38 of 57 with a touchdown and 2 picks. The Denver Broncos win it at home. Now for Rich Gannon and Stacey Dales, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Denver tonight on CBS. 60 Minutes, then I Love Lucy Christmas and The Mentalist on CBS television.